right. Welcome back, you degenerates, to another night of the greatest gambling show you will find on this glorious April 20th, 2021. It's your boy Morgan here with my boy Billy. How you feeling tonight, Bill?
Wonderful. How you doing?
I'm feeling all right.
Oh no, the glasses are staying on. I just did it for dramatic effect.
You want the glasses on tonight?
I was going Dallas Buyers Club for you.
Ooh, I love it. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Betting the Diagonal. We are live here tonight celebrating our favorite movie of all time, Dazed and Confused. Not really our favorite movie of all time, but a great movie because it is 420. As we all know, it's a great day to be alive. I hope everybody's indulging a little bit today, taking a little off the shoulders a little bit, get a little loosey-goosey.
Have some fun on a Tuesday night.
Have some fun. I know our man Wooderson would agree with us. That's that thing about high school girls, man. He gets older, they stay the same age.
Yeah, that was good back in the day.
Back then
that was okay, but
today,
nowadays
we do not
it's not so
condone
much.
that these days. Not these days. We do not condone that. We just live by the three words: all right, and all right. That's it. Billy, how have your bets been? Have they been all right?
They've been up and down here and there. I have a couple good days. I have a couple bad days. I got destroyed thanks to your 76ers first half. I was texting good friend of the show, Michael Hartree, the guy who does FFD with me, and he's like, I love it, because I told him about the first half bet a couple weeks ago when we went away, and he was hyped. He goes, dude, that shit never loses. It literally doesn't lose. I'm like, I told you, I'm not lying to you.
Great bet.
So he goes, the only way that doesn't hit is if Steph Curry gets 40 points in the first half. He got half of that, got 20. It was terrible. It was a terrible game. Liverpool blew it in the 86th minute for me.
It was tough, real tough.
But at least I wasn't a big old dummy like you and bet Ben Askren. I bet on the guy who owns part of the company, and I came out profitable on the week somehow. How about you?
Yeah, I too lost on all three of those bets. I believed in Liverpool. Never in a million years will I ever bet on those tea and crumpets little bitches ever again. Yep. They are a joke to football/soccer. The EPL actually should kick them out and make them go join the Super League because of the effort that they put forward against Leeds, costing us significant amount of money. I'm going to write a strongly worded email tonight, actually, to the head of the EPL. Hopefully they just kick them out. I'm done with them. They stink. We have another friend of the program. If you've watched Birthday of a Degenerate with Mr. Jared Phillip, is a big Liverpool fan. He was roasted on Saturday.
And then Morgan got roasted after. But.
And then I got business. In Morgan's defense, however, Billy put the play in for the Sixers first half before I even put the play in to talk about it. So I will say I did not lead him to this pick, but it's a tough beat no matter what because it's been money all season. I was wrong, obviously, on Ben. That was what have we always said? Rule number one: you don't ever bet from the heart. That was a from the heart pick. I don't like Jake Paul. There, I said it. Jake Paul, you watching this? I challenge you to the next boxing match. Let's go, man.
Oh boy,
I'll get in there. I won't take a dive like Ben. You can't pay me off. I'm gonna sit in there and knock your ass out. Come at me, bro.
Current YouTube star versus future YouTube star. Gotta love it.
That's what I love.
Passing of the torch.
That's exactly what it is. It's like Brady to Mahomes, baby. I don't go out of style. So that one was kind of rough. I really wanted Ben Askren to win because I do not like Jake Paul.
I hate Jake Paul.
He is a deplorable person. The fight sucked. It was a giant waste of money. It was cool to see some of the celebs. I saw some of the stuff that like Pete Davidson was saying. That guy's pretty fucking funny.
Did you watch the slap contest?
I see the slap contest.
Oh, it was glorious. I wish there was odds on it.
Oh, man, I'd be great if we could find some slap bet odds, like some betting. There are slap leagues. There has to be some book has to have them. We will have to find that someday. But a lot of big sports going on this past week. As Billy said in the beginning, the Sixers-Warriors game. The Sixers did not cover the first half. I think it was 4.5 or 5.5. We got an each different number, I think. But Billy, I want to talk to you about what happened during that game because I saw something during that game. I watched every second of that basketball game.
I didn't watch any of that nonsense.
Something crazy happened to it. And let me ask you this real quick: who do you think are the favorites in basketball for MVP this year? Like, who are the guys?
Opinion or fact?
Let's go both. Give me one. Give me both.
So the facts are that it's Jokic and Embiid versus the field, where, in my opinion, it should be Jokic and Julius Randle. But that's neither here nor there.
That was a big time over pick right there.
I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not.
You get New York affiliation. New York affiliation.
on the bandwagon, but that would be a 9-win team without him, and we all know it.
That's possible. It's very possible. Now, RJ Barrett,
if he gets top three seed, he deserves the MVP.
He's got a. You mean you can make a case? He'll get votes, 100%. He will absolutely get votes. He won't win it, but someone I think you're forgetting about, Mr. Splash Bro himself, Steph Curry, man. The dude is on a freaking tear right now. He's had, I think it was 5 straight games of 30-plus points. He broke a Kobe record. He's putting up numbers ridiculous. He's put up 49 points against the Sixers the other night. Ready for this crazy one, though? Go for it.
I don't know if this is going to be the stat you're about to pull out of your ass, but he actually broke 3 records this week.
3 records. There you go. All right. What were the 3?
He broke Chris Mullin's shooting percentage throughout a season for 3-pointers for the Warriors. Broke the all-time scoring leader for the Warriors, passing Wilt Chamberlain, and then broke the Kobe record all in 1 week.
Wild. Absolutely wild. We are seeing an incredible stretch of basketball. For those of you watching the show, you love to talk money, you love to talk gambling. The best thing about Steph Curry's streak right now, if you had a long odds and the futures on Steph Curry MVP voting, entering the game against the Sixers this past week, he was a plus 10,000 to win the MVP. By halftime, Curry's odds jumped to plus 6,000 while the game was in action because of what he's doing right now. He is on an absolute tear. He is making a huge late charge to win the MVP award. It's going to come down to a 3-horse race between Jokic, Embiid, and Curry. Not going to lie, I would not be surprised if Curry sneaks away with it at the end. If the Warriors can get themselves in the playoffs, and they're 29-29 right now, they're the 9th seed in the West. I think they're 1 or 2 games out. If they can get their way into the playoffs off the back of Steph Curry shooting, give the award to Curry. 100%.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's too little too late.
The thing that I come back to is I saw a very interesting a chart that was out yesterday about, it was a comparison between Embiid and Jokic, who are your 2 main contenders for MVP. Last I saw, Jokic was a minus 135 favorite. Embiid was a plus 300 second place underdog to it. But the one interesting stat that I guess stat and chart that I saw was basically measuring player value with them and what they mean to the team when they're on and off the court. Embiid, when he's on the court, was according to this statistic, and I don't know the name of it, so I apologize for that. According to the statistic, is the most valuable player when he is on the court in the entire NBA. And it breaks it down by every team as well. So he's by far the most valuable player on his team. If you look at the Denver roster, Jokic isn't even the most valuable player on his team. And that, according to that statistic, or that chart, when they're all on the court together, the most valuable player for them is actually Michael Porter, whom we probably wouldn't have expected to be. But according to this, means the most to that team. Now, it's a blanket stat. It doesn't mean much anything. Jokic, we've all seen Jokic. He's an absolute beast. I said it a couple weeks ago, I believe, and the one thing I think that will hold true if Embiid plays enough games and Curry doesn't get his team in the playoffs is Jokic is a turnstile on defense. He cannot stop anybody in the paint. He is one of the worst graded defensive players, whereas Embiid right now in the defensive player rankings is number 3 for defensive player in the year. So, some interesting things that'll happen. What do you got? Any thoughts about that?
Oh, I mean,
I know you're not the biggest basketball guy, but
listen, I'm not a big NBA fan. You know, like I enjoy like how well these players play at such a level, but like there's not a lot of defense involved. I would never even consider anybody to get a Defensive Player of the Year award because there's no defense being played until the playoffs anyway. It's just like essentially a scrimmage up until playoffs. So that's out of the window for me. Defensive Player of the Year, it's a joke. But Steph is Steph. Nobody shoots 55% from three for 3 weeks straight. Like, nobody's ever done it. It's not possible.
It's pretty crazy. I was thinking about this the other day. You think how blessed we are in this kind of era of just every sport. The players that we get to see. Think basketball, the LeBrons, the Currys. You can make people will make the case. I don't know where. I still don't know where I stand on this, but LeBron Jordan, he was the best of all time, right?
Jordan is not close.
I think it's tough. I don't think you compare the two of them because they play two different positions.
It's not close.
That's my personal opinion on it. But just think the era that we've lived in. We've gotten to see LeBron play. You get to see arguably the best shooter of all time in Steph Curry. Take it to football. We've gotten to watch Tom Brady for over 20 years. Arguably the greatest football player of all time. Go even take it to go to you say football. Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning. These guys were just elite, all-time greats. Hockey, I hate his guts. Sidney Crosby, you got to tip your hat to him. He's one of the best of all time. Connor McDavid, absolute phenom. Baseball, Mike Trout, right? Mike Trout could go down as the best player of all time. I saw a thing today I was reading that you can make a case based off of WAR for a pitcher that Clayton Kershaw is the greatest pitcher of all time, which I don't know if I buy into that part of it, but Clayton Kershaw's a hell of a pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, that's why baseball always became like too much for me. They were like they're like, oh, he could be the best pitcher of all time. Like, well, is he?
Yeah. And even break down, go to your backyard, go college levels, right? Luka Garza, what he just did in college basketball, that's an all-timer right there.
Yeah.
We're seeing Jalen Suggs, what he just did. Cade Cunningham's freshman season, all-time season right there.
Putting that team on his back.
Tim Tebow back at Florida, all-time great college player. Reggie Bush, we got to see all these things. So some awesome stuff. So as sports fans, which we both are first and foremost, we're living in the golden age, baby.
Absolutely.
It's an absolute pleasure to do it.
And I would like to throw out one name you forgot for football, Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey
is an animal.
He's winning on and off the field. He's a stud on the field. He comes home at night. He's got Olivia Culpo on his arm. The guy can do no wrong.
I agree.
I think he needs to be traded to the Eagles. So maybe she.
Okay.
Maybe something doesn't work out with their relationship. Maybe she decides she wants to pop on a Tinder one of these days. She knows where to find me. But aside from that, we also have baseball just kicked off. We're about 2.5. We just started our third week of the regular season. I know you're not a huge baseball guy, but any thoughts on the baseball season thus far? What's been happening?
Yeah, it's boring. It's boring, and apparently teams are scoring 15 runs, and guess who's still not watching? This guy.
Baseball's not for everybody. There's a couple crazy things that are happening in baseball right now, though. The runs, in my opinion, when I watch it, and this also could be very biased because obviously I watch the Phillies all the time, I feel like run scoring in baseball is actually down significantly this season. I know there was talk last year, and not last year, but the year before, that the ball had been changed, and it led to an all-time record for home runs hit in a single season. I believe the Twins set the all-time single franchise record. I think it was like 320-something home runs they hit in the season. Wild. But I mean, it's like just something I've seen. I feel like the offense might have been down, but there's some crazy things going on right now. The freaking Cincinnati Reds are leading the NL Central. Picked to finish fourth in that division, just before the Pittsburgh Pirates, who stink. They are just churning out runs left and right. They're the highest scoring team in baseball right now, with putting up. I just had this number pulled up right here. Putting up 6.07 runs per game at this point. Right behind them, who'd have saw this one coming? Boston. Nobody thought Boston was going to be good. Everyone thought Boston was in a rebuilding year. Right now, Boston leads the AL East, second highest scoring team in baseball. Do I think either of those will last? Not a chance. Everything rounds out and comes back to the norm eventually. Last year you saw the darling of the Marlins make the playoffs. That's not happening again. Those are lifetime things. That's been pretty crazy to happen right now. Mariners are off to a hot start. Mariners are one of the worst teams in baseball over the past decade. They have the longest active playoff drought in Major League Baseball. Second longest, my Philadelphia Phillies.
There you go. Keep Philly classy, you know?
Absolutely love that. Me and my scumbags were sitting there at the Phillies game yesterday chanting Fire Howie. Gotta love that. Speaking of Fire Howie, I don't know if anyone who's listening or watching, even you, Billy, saw, I retweeted a Barstool Philly thing. It drives me absolutely wild every time I see it, where it's the Minnesota Vikings brass laughing at the Eagles for taking Jalen Reagor and passing on Justin Jefferson. Please help me get Fire Howie trending.
To your defense, Jalen Reagor will be a good wide receiver. I promise you that.
I do think Jalen Reagor will be a good receiver. However, I do not think he was the right pick.
No. I don't want to throw salt in the wound. I also laughed when they passed on him.
Last year was the worst draft I've ever watched, and I'm the biggest draft guy you will ever meet. Last year was the worst draft of my life. Between Jalen Reagor and Jalen Hurts in the second round. And this is why everyone should understand when I sometimes question my Eagles fanhood. You know, you break the heart so many times, you can only take so much in your life, right? You know, I literally sold my soul for a Super Bowl, and now my team is going to suck for the next 50 years. But I'll always have that memory, I guess, right?
I guess.
I guess. But back at it, interesting thing that's going on right now is the Yankees suck.
Yeah, they look bad.
They're absolutely terrible right now. And I know we said a couple weeks ago, Yankees are one of our picks for the World Series. You know, guess it is only less than a 10th of the way through the season. We have a lot of baseball.
Oh my God, baseball!
That just killed you inside.
It's like, why? I just don't like. It's always been my thing, even when I was a baseball fan. Why do you need that many
love
games?
it. You could give me more games, and I'll still be happy.
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
Just play all 12 months. Just go down to Florida during the winter years. It's all
make a bubble.
good.
What you do is you play the beginning of the year, like the summer seasons with all the teams, and you take a winter. You do a playoff bubble down in Florida and Texas.
Yeah, just
and
for
you do like a couple months of playoff teams only.
The Game 7 World Series on Christmas Eve. Take
that
a
would
week
be
and a half off for
awesome.
Christmas and New Year's, like
and then you
high
start
school
the regular
stuff.
season
And start it back up.
You start right back up January 2nd with a new season.
Stupid.
Absolutely love that. Could you imagine the contracts baseball players would get then? Holy shit, that would be wild. You'd think Bryce Harper got a $330 million deal for 162 games. They just doubling that, $660 million. Oh, baby. We are in the wrong profession. But
for that much money, I'd go play baseball again.
I mean, could probably buy some game at baseball.
Yeah.
Last real thing I want to really get into before we get into some picks. There's something crazy happening right now with our cousins across the pond over in England and their friends over in other countries. There's this thing called the Super League. And this is not the Justice League. You know, Batman and Robin aren't over there. There's no Superman or anything. This is the Super League, where we're having a super league of the greatest teams in professional soccer.
Or we were supposed to.
We'll get into that part in a minute. But what do you think about the idea of the Super League? The Super League in general. What do you think of the idea for soccer?
From what I read about it, it was a good idea, but I don't know, man. Like, you can't just keep adding teams and then just those bottom teams who suck. Like, put it this way. Say we did that for college sports here in America, right?
Temple.
I'll take the glasses off. I want to speak to you.
Oh, all right. Let me get real.
Say we, instead of the Pac-12, we started at a Pac-16, and every couple years or a year, we added another team who did well in another conference, right? Well, those good teams that were in the other conferences, somebody's going to lose. They're going to keep losing because those top teams are going to keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what's already happening in soccer. the top 4 or 5 teams on the tables. They're just
Oh yeah,
significantly better.
You know who's going to be there every year.
Yeah, there's no not crazy surprises. Every now and then pops up, but then that team stays good. They land a massive player through. However, the whole FIFA contract rules by itself is already suspect. Now they were gonna just try to.
I love it.
It's good, and then it's not so good in the same way. Like when you really take a step back and you think about what they do, it's a little suspect to me. Nevertheless, I still love soccer or football, as my counterparts would say. It's a good idea. Kind of happy it didn't happen because I like the Chelsea fans as much as we hate Chelsea. Well, at least I hate Chelsea. Can't stand them.
We don't like
fans.
the Premier League. Fuck
Football's
the Premier
for the fans. Football's for the fans.
I completely agree. I think I told you off air before we went on. I think we have a very different perspective of this as Americans with this. We don't give a shit about soccer. We go to soccer games to get freaking plastered and just start yelling and blowing vuvuzelas. That's it. Soccer overseas, it's life. That's all they care about. All these fans going nuts. This is their livelihood. This is whom they, this is the Eagles. This is the Flyers, the Sixers, the Phillies for me, right? This is their teams. I love Real Madrid, but I don't love them near to that degree. I think the idea of the Super League for us is awesome to see. Because think about it. We were talking a little bit ago, right? Real plays Cadiz tomorrow. I don't give a shit about Cadiz. I want to see Real versus Barcelona every single time.
Yep.
I want to see Real versus Atletico Madrid. Give me Liverpool so I can go stomp their asses again.
Yep.
Give me those squads. I don't want to see these loser teams. I'll give you this, though. Hot take. I think Super League's coming to college football. I don't know when. Super League's coming.
That's a bad idea.
I agree.
It's a good idea. Like I said, I think it's a good idea for power conferences, for power teams.
I think that's going to be the next
idea for those teams.
It's going to be the next change to the playoff system, because down the line, as like the BCS system, everybody got tired of. People are going to get tired of the playoff system at some point. And I think the Super League is going to come to college football. We're going to see Bama, LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Oklahoma. Throw Oregon in there because they're usually pretty damn good.
Oregon wouldn't sign up because they're getting bottom of the list and they're winning 4 games.
I think you almost have to sign up though, because I think that's where the recruits are going to want to go.
Listen,
you got to think what's the best way for you to get to the draft, right? Exposure and get against the best talent.
Yeah, but you also want to win.
100%.
Why do you think almost the whole starting team
think
for Bama and LSU always go first couple rounds? It's because they win.
That's true. I also think part of that hot take is when that happens, college players will be getting paid to go to play. And so I think
why would they go to the NFL then?
Well,
stomp on little children.
Well, why would you
5 years?
Because everybody wants to go to the NFL, man. Everybody.
Yeah, I guess.
You got a chance to go down as an all-timer?
Those contracts will be guaranteed.
Yes, 100%. But I think it's a very interesting thought. I think it's coming. I would venture to say within the next decade, Super League comes to college football.
Well, good thing this thing is being recorded here, so we can all
film it. When I am right, I would like all credit to go to me. I have put this out there into the universe. I have not seen anybody else say this. I'm sure somebody else has.
I'm going to fact check that when we get off air.
I have not seen anyone else say it. I'm guaranteed there is other people who have said it. I have not seen anyone say it personally. I think it makes too much sense, though, down the world now that this is out there and our leagues over here have seen that it's possible. I think the governing body and NCAA, as corrupt as it already is, will go all the way for it.
They might.
Which will be pretty damn cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind lining up 3 straight college football weekends: Alabama versus LSU, Alabama versus Clemson, Alabama versus Ohio State. That'd be pretty freaking sick.
It'd be much better than me watching Alabama beat nobodies by 70. I tell you that.
I don't need to see Bama versus UAB. Like, I don't care about that. Like, I don't need LSU beating Louisiana Tech. I don't care. Ryan Moses coming out of that tunnel for Louisiana Tech anytime soon. But anyway, Billy, do you have any little things nuggets you want to throw out there before we get into some picks?
Oh, I'm all good. I'm ready to get back into my groove. Ready to hopefully win some bets.
Love it. As my man Wooderson loves to say, Billy, give me your picks in. All right.
First one on the board. Let's start with hockey, and then I'll go to the NBA. I'll give you that bonus soccer 2-team parlay later on. You guys have to watch the whole episode, not just end after I'm done talking, so Morgan can shut up. I'm going Sharks plus 225, and I'll also be on the plus 1.5 against the Las Vegas Knights. First off, I want to give a quick shout out to Patrick Marlowe for playing the most games in NHL history. He was in NHL 64 back on N64 when the first hockey game came out back in 1967. Good for you. You're the oldest person on earth. No, he's a phenomenal player. I did just want to give a shout out.
He'll do well in the Hall of Fame.
Yep, easily. He was in the Hall of Fame seven seasons ago.
10 seasons ago.
I didn't want to stretch his age that much. I do agree.
Back when he was in his mid-30s.
now he's in his 70s, but the Sharks let one go on Monday night against the Knights after being up 2-0. They wound up losing in a shootout. I think that the San Jose eventually takes one from the Knights. The Knights won all 6 games against San Jose. I really thought that Monday. It wasn't on my card on Monday, but I did have the Sharks money line. Because every time I've bet on Vegas recently, which hasn't been that much lately because they keep losing every time I bet on them. So I figure I'm going to start fading them. Listen, they've won 7 straight. It's time for them. I think it's going to be a little letdown game after a nice emotional comeback on a Monday. I'll be taking the plus 1.5 for sure, and then a little sprinkle on the plus 225. That's my only hockey play for tomorrow. There's only 4 games on. I like to pick my spots for hockey. As I told you guys when the season started, I am still batting quite well at 59% on the year. So whenever you see them pop up, take them. Most of the time I make money. If you want even better odds than the plus 225, I don't have the number in front of me, but take Sharks in regulation. It's probably close to plus 275. Heading down to the hardwood for the pros, I'll be on the Warriors minus 2.5, correct? Or minus 2?
I have minus 2.
Minus 2. Warriors, you're going to take it quite easily, I think, even though the Wizards just took one from them. Was it last week they played, I believe?
I believe it was, yeah.
And Thursday. Steph's on a historical tear like we talked about. In the past week, he's averaged 42 points per game. It doesn't happen. He's now overtaken Bradley Beal for the scoring title for the season. This game I don't have the over under, but I think it'd probably go over. I think those two are going to battle it out. Also, I'm going to be taking the over in Steph points. It was funny, like when we first joined the call, you're like, I love a couple things. I was like, well, what are they? He was like Steph points and the Warriors. I'm like, yep, that's me too. I take that.
Interject real quick. 239.5.
I'm taking the over. I think the public.
It's a big number, but I kind of like it.
Here's my theory. I think the public bets the under because the number's a little bit too big, and you can probably get it for 237.
Yeah, I agree with that logic.
Sorry, I just put some ice in my mouth. So take the Steph points, probably like what 27.5, thinking 28.5.
Or Steph overtook Bradley Beal as the leading scorer in the NBA. He's at 31.4 points per game. It's probably going to be 31.5.
Give me 31.5. I'll take it because I'm frisky and I know Morgan is as well. It's a good bet. He's on fire, can't be stopped, and Bradley Beal can't play any defense.
There's something about those 420 wins that make you feel frisky.
You know what I'm saying? Speaking of 420 wins, the Knicks won tonight, and guess what's going to happen? They're going to win again tomorrow. I hopped on the Knicks bandwagon in the beginning of the season. I didn't just do it all willy-nilly. I asked my Knicks friends if I could. There were specific things I had to do. I had to watch the games. I had to be involved, and I am. I'm buying in. The Knicks have won 7 straight, covering 17 games at home this year. So their total home against the spread record is 17-10-1. Julius Randle leading this team to a top 4 spot guaranteed in the playoffs, especially since the Nets are just shambles over there.
We've had bad history with guarantees.
Listen,
we were guaranteed a 3rd chair at one point, but
yeah, well, that didn't
what
end
happened
up
there.
not working out because he guaranteed something that doesn't going to happen. This is better.
I want to ask
the Knicks
you
are
this,
a good team. The Knicks are a good team, and I want you to admit it.
I agree. No, I'll give you this. Knicks are a good team. Knicks are a good team. I underestimated them. Hat off. The Knicks are a good team. They're going to be a playoff team.
Yep.
Here's my hot take question for you. I saw this on Twitter today, and it got me thinking. R.J. Barrett is on a tear. Yep. He looks like a stud right now. Can we make a reasonable case R.J. Barrett now is better than Ja Morant from that draft class?
No.
I think we can.
No.
I think we can. I don't think Ja has taken that next step this year, where I think R.J. Barrett certainly has.
No.
Usually, you see that sophomore
2 different positions. RJ can't get his own shot. So what's been happening, since I know you're not watching Knicks games over there in Philly, Randall will get the ball, and then 2 or 3 defenders will come over to him. And then Barrett's got a wide open shot. Somebody else has a wide open shot. That's why you see his assist numbers going up. He's been scoring like crazy. So I think a little bit has to do with the attention that Randall demands. I mean,
that's fair. Yeah. There's,
I love RJ.
Have that other guy.
You know me, I'm a Duke fan, as are you. I thought that RJ should have went number 1 in the draft, which he didn't, which is good for the Knicks.
That's a bold take right there.
No,
that's a big. No,
he's the best scorer in that draft class. The best scorer. He just doesn't have a point guard and doesn't know how to make his own shot.
I'll agree with scorer maybe, but Zion I think is the best player by far.
Zion's the best player in the draft class, but he's the best pure scorer.
And I think if you're drafting number 1 overall, you're not looking for score. You're looking for the best player.
Listen,
I think it's an interesting debate. I think it's going to be very, very interesting the next couple years. Sorry,
it's okay.
So just so for everyone knows in reference, because Billy knows, I'm watching this show called Meat Eater on Netflix, and awesome show. It's about these guys who go hunting out in the woods and they prep their food, like field dressing and all. I just saw a part where they just shot a caribou and they cut the thing's eye out and cut the meat around the eye, and they're now eating that meat raw.
Well, that's how I felt.
Man.
I felt like that caribou when the Sixers didn't cover that first half.
That's that caribou. Yeah, that bet looks like what the caribou did, and it's dead.
Yeah, it was dead.
But yeah, I think that's going to be something interesting in the next couple of years. Well, I think I usually like to take 5 years before you really judge a class, and how the players are individually. I think it'll be interesting though.
It was a very top heavy class.
100%. Zion,
it will never go down as one of the best classes in history. It just won't. Even if Zion becomes better than LeBron or anybody, it's.
Did you see Zion's shoes today?
No.
Oh, all right. I don't know about you. I'm a big shoe guy, so they're not too bad. I kind of like them. I don't know. I might look to get them at some point. A little Jordan Zion ones, not too shabby.
Oh, his own shoe that just came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these are fresh.
I like them. I think they look pretty.
I like them a lot.
Might have to cop a pair.
Yeah. I'm getting back to my picks if that's okay with you.
By all means, I'm done talking.
Yeah, we are way off
the rails.
Off the rails. It's
This is the classic episode.
It's the product environment that we're in.
Throw back the OG episodes.
I warned Morgan before this show we're going to try to shorten the episodes, give you guys more content and less time, be more efficient. Morgan doesn't listen to a fucking word I say. I'm taking the Knicks money line. Knicks have been money at the Mecca. My next bet, this one's pretty easy for me. Jazz -11 versus the Rockets. It's the Jazz. The Jazz could have the Rockets players and still beat the Rockets by 15. That's how bad the Rockets are. That's how bad they are. You do that math in your head, it doesn't make any sense.
But it adds up.
Yep, it adds up to a Jazz minus 11. Next one, real quick, is Thunder plus 10.5 versus the Pacers. Thunder on the road have been cover machines, so I'll be on that as well. I'm sure Morgan will have more info on that. I'm just running through my picks. I know Morgan's going to talk for 20 minutes. My last one, Kings minus 3.5 versus Timberwolves. I think it's a bounce back play, at least in my opinion. The Kings have won 9 of the last 10, and Timberwolves, they're terrible. They're bottom of the bottom. It's a nice, easy bounce back. Number's small. If you're feeling like the number might be too much, take the money line. It's plus 165. Still plenty of time. And that's all I got. That's all I got.
I like them. Those are some solid picks. Hold on, I'm just actually adding a pick right now.
He's just about to regurgitate all of my great picks.
No. It's actually not one of your picks. I just wrote the wrong team. Give me 1 second. Okay.
Just type your picks into your computer. Start writing
Can't
them
do
on
it.
a piece of
Gotta
paper.
write it. I'm an old school kind of guy. I work best with paper in my hand. But okay. Bring it over, my friend. Everybody, get comfortable. Take a seat. We're going to be here for a while.
Sure.
Make your popcorn. Get a drink. Let's start on the hardwood. NBA action. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're getting close to playoffs. I have 6 plays right now for the NBA. As Billy just said, Utah Jazz, I have it at minus 10.5 against the Rockets. However, and I said this to Billy earlier, I am taking an alternate spread on this game at the Jazz. I'm going to take them at minus 16.5.
Oh. You told me 17.5 off screen.
I'm going to bring it
for the record.
He's right for the record. I'm going to bring it down to 16.5 alternate. I don't have what the number is on that just yet. But I will be taking that at an alternate spread because I don't think that's enough. We just saw the Lakers, Jazz, I think it was yesterday, Jazz were 7.5 point favorites, ended up winning by close to, I think it was like 27 or something. Just destroying.
You want 16.5 plus 205.
I'll take it. What's 17.5?
Plus 240.
Fuck it. Give me the 17.5.
Atta girl.
Let's ride, baby. I want money. I'm going to end up taking the Jazz plus 17.5. I think they are just going to roll. The Rockets are by far the worst team in the NBA. They don't cover spreads. They don't do anything positive. The Jazz on the season are 34-24 to the spread. Granted, I will be taking a different number, obviously. But Houston, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, they are 19-39 against the spread this year. The worst team by far. They weren't good with James Harden. They're significantly worse without him. Might as well take it in. I have nothing against the Rockets, but I would find it hilarious if they somehow lose the lottery and fall out of the Cade Cunningham sweepstakes and get one of the other guys, even though we talked previously in I think a different episode that this is going to be a pretty good NBA draft. Next pick I'm going to have tomorrow, Heat plus 1.5 against the Spurs. The Heat are doing what they do this time of year. They get hot right before the playoffs consistently. It's what they did before the bubble and in the bubble last year. Right before the playoffs started. In my opinion, I do not think there is a better run front office coaching staff than in Miami between Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. That is a well-tuned machine. They have the vet leadership and Jimmy Butler to get them. They have the talent. I keep reading there's a lot of concern with Tyler Herro. He has been shooting like shit. Maybe he'll get out of it. Maybe he won't. We'll see. Oladipo's been a pretty good fit down there. I like Miami to cover this game. There's more to play for Miami than this. Miami is playing for positioning. They're playing for seeding. They're still a lower seed. That is a cool-ass fish. Sorry. They're still a lower seed in the Eastern Conference. They're trying to get up there to a 5 or 4 seed. That way they can maybe win around and get into the second round. Because if they line up against the Bucks, the Brooklyn, or Philly, they're gone. They're done in the first round. So I think, though, when the Spurs are playing young guys, they don't have much to play for at this point. Give me the points for that game. I'm going to be on that Warriors game. Warriors -2. Love that pick. I think that is a pick mainly based off the Warriors are a little bit banged up and Warriors are on the East Coast. I think if you take that game to the West Coast, the Warriors are going to be about a 5-6 point favorite in this game. So being over here on the East Coast, on their East Coast swing for the season, I think that's jumping that line. The Warriors are playing phenomenal basketball right now. Billy already highlighted it. Steph Curry is on a historic roll right now. I will be taking Steph Curry over whatever the hell his points are. It's not going to come out for a little while still. Whatever it is, I am going to take the over. I'm going to hammer the over because you got to kind of roll with it, like we did with Drake earlier in the college basketball season, like we did with Utah back, I think it was like in February, January. They were like on a 20-1 stretch against the spread. Mm-hmm. You got to roll with it when it's hot. You just ride it until it falls off, and I'm fine with that. So I love that game as well. Game I just added to my card. I have one other one after this for NBA, but the one I just added, Grizzlies plus 4.5 against the Clippers. Went back and forth on this one a little bit. Looked at it. It was not on the card originally. Both of these teams are phenomenal against the spread. The Grizzlies, bet you didn't know, the Grizzlies are the best team in the NBA against the spread. They have been on an absolute tear since the All-Star break. I believe it was close to 20 in single digits against the spread since the All-Star break. Right now, they're 36-20 on the season. They are the top team. Clippers are 35-23. It's a tough one. They both kill it. I'm going to roll with the hotter team, though. Again, Memphis has more to play for. They're trying to get into the playoffs. Clippers have a playoff spot locked up pretty much already. They're trying to stay healthy. I wouldn't be shocked if one of Kawhi or Paul George does not play in this game. Give me those points. Last NBA game I will be betting on tomorrow is going to be my 76ers and the Suns. I want the over for whatever the total is. I don't have a number for the total just yet. However, when these two teams met back a couple of months ago, it was a slugfest. Could potentially be a finals preview. The Suns are playing some phenomenal basketball. Might be the most underrated team out west. I think that number is going to open up around 226, between 226 and 224. I like the over in that game. Devin Booker, whenever he goes up against Ben Simmons, has a vendetta because Ben slept with his girl before he did. So he always comes out and puts up at least 30 points. Chris Paul has been playing great. If it was maybe a few years ago and Phoenix got more fame and everything, Chris Paul would be very deep in that MVP conversation.
That's a very deep dive into that stat right there.
Which one?
The one where about the lady friend.
Devin Booker and my girl Kendall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Devin Booker made Ben Simmons is probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Devin Booker made Ben look like shit last time they played.
Yeah.
I think Ben will come out with a bit of a vengeance, but I also think the two of them are going to go head-to-head. You always see it whenever it's Kendall Jenner X. Whenever Jordan Clarkson's out there against Ben Simmons, he goes to town. Even Blake Griffin rolls back the clock a little bit, and he put up some points. It's something about that Jenner blood. I don't know. I like the over in that game, though. I don't know what that number is. I think it'll open between 224, 226. I think it should actually be like 229, 230. It's going to be a very good game. I'm very excited to watch it. Two great teams, like I said. I think it might be a finals preview potentially. Heading over to Diamond with baseball. I got 4 picks for baseball for tomorrow. First one I'm going to take is going to be the Athletics, their first 5 innings versus the Twins. In my opinion, with baseball gambling, and I haven't done this too much early in the season, but first 5 is where your value is. That is when the starters are in majority of the time, unless it's just a blowout. I don't like to bet when the bullpen gets involved. I cannot trust bullpens. Saw it this evening with the Phillies, who've had a much better bullpen this year. They gave up 6 runs from the 8th inning on. Completely imploded, gave up 2 3-run home runs to lose the game. I'm interested in first 5 innings. Athletics Twins, it's a good matchup tomorrow. I like the Athletics in this one. They're playing a doubleheader today, and tonight is the second part of that game. So I think that Twins coming out to Oakland will be a little bit more exhausted than the Athletics will. I had it written down, or had it looked up, but I don't remember now who the Athletics starter was. But I do like whomever was starting for the Athletics more than the Twins tomorrow. I'm going to do Padres money line against the Brewers tomorrow. Padres, Brewers, 2 of the best teams tonight. If anyone was watching, Corbin Burns, who is the early front runner for NL Cy Young Award, threw an absolute gem. He's actually off to a historic start. He's got 36 strikeouts and 0 walks to start the season. Absolutely insane. I've never seen anyone come anywhere near that in the years I've watched baseball. However, they are due for a letdown game tomorrow. The Padres have a very good rotation. I believe Yu Darvish is pitching tomorrow, who was, I think, the runner-up for NL Cy Young last year. So give me the Padres money line in that one. I think they will win. That was plus money, I believe, as well. Last two games are going to be the totals. Yankees Braves under 9. The Yankees stink. They can't score. They, for whatever reason, their whole lineup, I don't think they have a guy hitting over 300 in that lineup. Braves have hit a little bit better of late, but I don't trust them. Shitty pitching matchup, but in this scenario, I'm going to take shitty pitching versus shitty hitting. Just means a shitty score. So it's going to be a low one. And then the last one I'm going to have is going to be the Diamondbacks versus the Reds, over 8.5 runs. These two teams are in the top 5 in baseball right now in runs per game. Between the two of them, they average nearly 11 runs per game. So this is criminally low, in my opinion. So I am all over that 8.5. I'm waiting to see. I think Nick Castellanos might be back tomorrow. He's going to come out with a vengeance and hit some dingers. Diamondbacks always hit home runs. So some pretty good games going on there. I'm sure I will have some soccer plays going as well. We were talking earlier, Real Madrid is playing. I will probably put something on Real. I'll probably do maybe like a La Liga parlay. Like I know, Bill, you like the EPL parlays. I'll probably look La Liga because that's more my style. And I don't like anybody in the Premier League because of Liverpool, and I just guilt by association.
Yep, I'm going to be running. I told everybody who's been listening since that whole rant that Morgan just did about baseball, and I don't know, like, people fall asleep for baseball, but for soccer, football, if you're a real fan, you know that the real players don't play in the MLS. Sorry, I really wish MLS was bigger. MLS kicked off last week. I'm gonna try to watch a little MLS to see if I can get a little capping going on because that's how badly I hate baseball. How badly I hate baseball. I'd rather watch the high school kids play soccer. Anyway, for tomorrow I'll be running AC Milan and Real Madrid, both two powerhouses. I'll be parlaying them to get the odds to a plus of 135, and without the parlay, just a little heads up, Milan is minus 155 on the money line, and Real is minus 240. So I do find some value in the 2-for-1 special. There's a couple other games I like, but those are the two that I will for sure already have money on because the parlay is already locked and loaded. Can't stop me now, boys.
Fun fact: since I am the Real Madrid guy, we are not Barcelona fans here at Betting the Diagonal. Just want to throw that disclaimer out there.
Come on, man. That was the easiest money of the week.
I agree. I don't disagree with you. However, I want our fans to know that our man who was running our social that day was drunk to decide to throw out some talk
Sober
about
as a bird that day.
We do not like Barcelona. We are Real Madrid fans. But Real Madrid stat to back up your parlay. Real Madrid unbeaten in their last 15 matches.
Thank you.
There are draws in there, but they are unbeaten. So I like my chances with a win. They've been playing great of late. Interesting thing I will say, though, about Real Madrid against them tomorrow, and I still think they will win. They're down to like 2 midfielders. Everybody is hurt right now.
It's fine.
But they're also not going to play guys who are borderline because of the Champions League in the semis versus Chelsea. Fun fact, Chelsea has no shot against Real Madrid. This is a Real Madrid Champions League victory year. It is written in stone.
Fun fact, I've already bet on that game as well.
Hammer it. Real's going to go to the finals. I think Real's going to win the Champions League this year, which is going to be friggin' awesome. Maybe we'll do a remote episode. Let's go to Madrid. Let's go run the streets. Maybe we'll run with the Bulls while we're out there.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm waiting to get my second vaccine shot so I can get on a plane. You know what I'm saying?
That would help. You know, as I say that, now I'm trying to think. I don't know if the running with the Bulls is in Madrid or Barcelona. It's in one of those two cities. It's somewhere in Spain, over across the water out there. Billy, add anything else that you want to add in before we kind of wrap her up?
Just little plugs. FFD content coming most likely next week for sure for the draft. Don't know if it's going to be an episode. Don't know if it's going to be a live stream, but we'll have something for you. Me and Morgan will most likely be doing a draft episode Thursday. A lot of stuff coming. I'm holding these articles, boys and girls. I'm holding them near and dear. I want my writing to be better this year. It is better. They're done. I'm just waiting for the right time.
Absolutely.
I don't want to just start shoving stuff down the throat. I've already started doing rankings for fantasy football way too early. people still even on teams yet. It don't matter. You guys are going to love my rankings. Follow me at BillyFFD on Twitter. Don't follow Greg anymore. Morgan, what do you got for us?
Yeah, like Billy just said, we got some cool things happening in the draft this week. We're going to do probably a lot of draft talk Thursday, more of a draft show for us here with betting wise and just sports wise. I know people who are watching this and listening to us right now, you're sports fans at heart. At the end of the day, we love sports. We love talking about sports. I know Billy and I are kind of chomping at the bit to talk a little NFL draft. I am super excited. NFL draft is my Christmas. It is my favorite day of the year. I will be working on my mock draft tomorrow. I will post the mock draft to the Betting the Diagonal page. So if anybody wants to, read it and read the article and everything, it is one of my favorite things to do is write a mock draft, see how accurate I can be. I do feel like I have a pretty good pulse a lot of times with these picks. Been doing it for a while. It's super exciting. I claim to fame. I told Billy this last week. Is NBA draft. I called Jonah Bolden to the Sixers in the second round. 43rd pick in the second round. Jonah Bolden out of Australia nailed it.
He's currently working at a gas station in Australia.
Yep. I don't care what he's doing. He can go do whatever he wants as long as he was that pick. That's all that matters to me. I'll tell you this right now. Fun fact, anybody wants to bet on it. The first two picks of the NFL draft are going to be Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. Lock it in. Guarantee. You get the Morgan guarantee right now.
First, that's not a surprise to anybody. And at least on my book, we'll get more into it on Thursday, but just since you had to bring it up, on my book, you need the first three. And the third one's the one's crapshoot right now.
Third pick.
A lot of
I'm leaning
going in the air.
It's going to be a quarterback, and I don't think you think it's I think it's going to be a quarterback. You don't think it's going to be.
Oh, I think it's going to be Trey Lance.
I don't think it's going to be Trey Lance.
I think it's going to be Trey Lance, but I think it's going to be traded. I think that pick's going to be traded down.
So you think – okay.
Yeah.
The team that traded up to the third pick is going to trade down. Nah, you're wild. You are wild, man. You are off your rocker.
I am off my rocker.
How much you been over there today?
I don't know, a lot. Close it out, Morgan.
And yes, so like I said, we got some cool things happening. Take a look at us on Thursday for the Degenerate. We've had some awesome episodes coming out of late. We changed it up a little bit. We're talking about daily fantasy sports. We've really been digging in with Jared and teaching how to do daily fantasies. For those of you who aren't interested in the long game that is capping, the games all season throughout every single sport, get in with Billy. He does a phenomenal job writing articles and making rosters, lineups every single week. Like Billy said, you can find him at Billy FFD. You can find both of us at Betting the Diagonal. You can find me at MoWatts26. Be on the lookout for some awesome content. And Billy, this has been fun. All right.
All right.